We're going to be going to these URLs. Now before we go to those URLs, because this is where we're going to get those little JavaScript snippets in order to install them so that it looks just like a Mac application. But before we do that, we have to make a change in the preferences so that our site-specific browser using Fluid will allow us to go there. So what we're going to do with Command Comma is bring up the preferences, and we're going to click on the Advanced tab right there. Click on Advanced, and you can see right here that normally it's going to allow browsing to URLs matching these patterns right there, which limits us just to the Google settings. What we want to do is we want to hit that option right there of allow browsing to any URL. Click that, and we're now ready to go to install all of these items. So here's the first problem you're going to hit when we go to userstyles.org/styles16900. The problem is when we are in the Fluid app, this particular site is expecting Firefox or some other supported browser where it can actually install this for you. And typically there's a little button here that says click to install as Greasemonkey. If you're in Firefox, this will work beautiful. Now I've tried going up to the Google Reader menu, trying the user agent and then changing that to something like Firefox that you see right there, but the problem is it still doesn't work. So the super uber geeky way of finding out how to do this is, I'll do this quickly. You look at the source. I'm doing this with Command Option U, and then you do a search using the find, which brings up the find dialog that you can see right there, and then you look for the keyword of Greasemonkey. That then finds a sub URL and gives you the long URL to essentially this one right here. It ends with user.js. We're trying to load the JavaScript file. Well, instead of having you do that, I'll put the link on this article and we will just use that right here. I've copied it to the clipboard. I'll show it on the screen. It's at that URL, userstyles.org/styles/user.js 16900 Google Reader : blah blah blah. And when we put that in, guess what happens? We then get a prompt from the Fluid browser to actually install this JavaScript. Now, warning, installing just random JavaScripts that aren't really trusted, not a good idea. But we'll do that here for this user script. The next one is super easy because all of these are on the userscripts.org and not userstyles.org site. So here we're going to actually get an install button. So when we go to this one, which is going to be at this URL, userscripts.org scripts show 24371, what we're going to do is just simply click the install. Boom, it'll go right to the JavaScript and we can install that. And finally, the last one, and that was the fave icons. The last one we're going to go to and paste in is this one at 67723. This is the Google Reader Mac OS X Snow Leopard plus Delicious, which gives you a few more extra GUI stuff. We'll install there. We've done the install. We'll now click to go home, which is going to load Google Reader. And guess what we're going to find up in this script menu? We are going to find the fave icons, the Google Reader for Snow Leopard, and the Google Reader Snow Leopard plus Delicious. We now have our very cool look, but we're not done yet. There are other cool things that we can actually do. Let me show you. So here we go. Here are a few more cool things that you want to do. Go into your preferences, and what you want to do is typically, depending on how you like to read your news, what's going to happen is when you click on a link in Google Reader, it's going to open up in a separate browser. You want to make it open up in this same browser. Go to behavior and you're going to say links from other applications. You're going to say open in a new tab in the current window, and you're also going to check sites spawning in new windows. You want to open those new tabs instead, meaning that they will now open within this Fluid single site browser, which you're actually allowing it to go to more than just one single site. That's the first tip, especially useful when you're actually going and you click on Google Reader, which automatically by default opens up new links. There you get a new tab, you can read it. When you're done, fine. You can then close it, you're back in your Google Reader and moving on with all of your keys. There are other ways to do this and I will show you that, but before we do that, check out the view menu where you're going to want to show the bookmark bar. Now let's say that you've gone onto a particular feed that you're reading, it's taking you to a site, you now want to subscribe to that site. Check out what I have up here up at the top. Subscribe and readability, two very cool functionality features. Well, what you're going to do is down here at the bottom, click on the preferences area. And what that's going to do is it's going to take you to, obviously, the settings that you have in Google Reader. Go to Goodies, right there. Under the Goodies tab, scroll down, and you're going to see this Put Reader in bookmark, or Use Reader on your phone, or Subscribe as you surf. Right there, this little item is a very convenient subscribe link where when you click subscribe on a site that is not already Google Reader, it will then look for the RSS in the Google Reader repository and then actually add that. So simply just drag this right up to that bookmark bar. Drop it and you're good to go. The next one is readability, and this one is really cool. In order to take a look at that, let's go to a particular article. Lullabot, take a look at that one, and then we will click readability. And there you go. What it does is it basically makes it strips all of the junk off of the site. Now, where do you get access to this? Right here at this URL. In fact, I will copy this link and I will show you on screen that it's at lab.arc90.com/experiments/readability. Once you're there, what you're going to see is you're going to see some settings that you can make where you can control what it looks like. Choose novel, small, medium, large. You pick whatever you want. Once you've picked how you want things to look, all you have to do is drag this item right here, this little guy. You're going to drag that up into your bookmark bar. Readability is then usable on any site where you want to read just the main article content. And here's my final tip for this particular video. Take a look up here. You've got these plugins. You've got Browse a plugin for B and C, and then also Thumbnail plugin. All these are different panes, so watch what happens when I open up one of the sides and check that out. I can simply just drag links right over, and it will load any of these links into this sub-browser within the main browser. Very cool for reading your news with a native Google Reader.